Mommy. Ready?
Yeah.
This is our exit interview for Rebecca. Rebecca has been with us since...
January 1st, 2001.
So, for a while.
Yeah.
Rebecca has started her new job at Cumulus Radio at the beginning of this year, where she transitioned to part-time with us. And as of Tuesday, you're no longer an employee of mine. So, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little exit interview, back and forth kind of thing, to ask you about your experience and all that. I have 10 questions. If we can do them all, great. If not, whatever. Number one, when you started, what did you imagine this job would be like? And then now that we're at the end of your job, do you think your past self would be surprised?
First question, I thought I was going to be your secretary, and that was pretty much it. I thought I was going to be answering your phone calls and responding to emails and getting your lunch. And at first, that was true. That was exactly what I did when I started for like a week. And then it very much so became much more creative and much more involved. And in all good ways, I learned so much. So I think into how it grew, no, I had no idea. I had no idea.
Joke's on you.
Yeah, that I would, I had no idea that I would have anything to do with the creative process to begin with, but becoming part of it taught me that it wasn't so scary to be a part of it, and that it could be really fun and not too serious at the same time, but that it could make a serious impact. So I didn't anticipate that for sure.
I think for me, it was when you started, I needed help with answering the phone, getting me lunch, reminding me to eat every day, stuff like that. And what that evolved into was recognizing that you had that creative spark to help translate what I'm talking about to the client so that they can digest it without being overwhelmed with the technical and the overwhelmed with the options of what they could be doing, keeping it focused. So that's why I pushed you hard to, all right, cool, creative process, great. Also, here's all this other stuff that goes along with it. And
I felt really lucky to kind of be able to act as a bridge sometimes, and it wasn't always necessary for me to kind of be able to say, here's what Matt is saying and thinking, and here's kind of a way that you can understand it, because I didn't get it at first either. So here's how I kind of learned, and it was cool to kind of make those two ends meet sometimes.
Number two, how do you feel your role has evolved since you first joined the company?
Oh, a lot.
You started as assistant.
Yeah.
And ended as
director of business development.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So assistant, administrative assistant, and then administrative director. And really that was just because we added on more people.
Yeah.
So rather than being one person's assistant, I was assisting a lot of people. I was doing admin over a couple of different projects instead of just helping you out, really. And then when I started to network more and kind of get to know people more, that was
spread your social butterfly wings.
Exactly that. And that was a huge portion of this job. If I got anything, I think I'm gonna say that a lot in this. Is if I got anything out of working at Ape Forge, it's gonna be like 12 different things. But one of the things that I got out of working at Ape Forge was I realized that my natural inclination to talk a lot or to share with people my life or my experiences wasn't actually a bad thing, and that it could be a skill that people could utilize, and that it might help people feel more open in some ways. Learning that I wasn't just annoying was cool and very empowering. And
zoom into my response here.
but really, there was a lot of times where you were encouraging to me to say, no, don't hold back.
Yeah.
Say what you want to say. You're valid and you're valuable.
You're a strong, independent woman who has opinions that some people want to hear.
Sometimes.
Next question is, can you share a memorable moment or project that you worked on during your time with us that you are particularly proud of?
Oh, okay. Good clarification there, because there's lots of memorable moments, period. One that I'm particularly proud of, I would say anything that we have done for the Mommy Chamber of Commerce, period. And it has a lot to do with the fact that their reach and their support to our community, and not just the businesses in the chamber, is so vast and so important. And I've never interacted with anybody who hasn't had a good experience with them. So anything that we have done to support that has felt nothing but good.
Yeah.
Even when challenges were thrown in the middle of them, like when we had to change what our sponsorship was for the golf outing, that for like a split second, it was like, oh my gosh, this is the most frustrating thing in the world. And then I was like, but it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because we're with this chamber. And
we get to make another video.
Yeah, we get to do something even cooler with this. And I know that it is because of the culture that they've cultivated there. And I love everything we've done associated with them and the members of that Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, definitely. How did you feel about the relationships you built with the team, partners, and clients during your time here?
Oh, and all of those are so different too. So the team, oh, that's hard to, I don't want to cry. Oh, I didn't think I was going to cry. I love you guys, and you mean of the world to me. Matt hates this because we're not a family. We're just not a family. We're a team, and we love each other, and we're friends. You know, but we've got that brother-sister relationship that we've always had, and that has always been necessary. And Lisa has been so cool to see cultivate this with us from the very beginning, and to lean on that, and to look at her as another pillar in this. I feel so strongly towards that. And Tori and Allie, bringing them on after the fact, and looking at you and saying, oh my gosh, we're growing this thing, and finding two people who fit so well with us. And everybody that we got to meet along the way, the other interns that we had during those times, helped us grow so much and taught me so much about just the diversity of skill and talent that's out there. The team affected me so much. Our other partners, I mean, there's obviously the chambers that we're a part of, BNI people, other businesses that we haven't necessarily done work for that pass us business, or that we pass them business, or that we just passing. And those people mean a lot to us because they recognize who we are, what we do, and our quality. We recognize them and their quality, and it builds this kind of respect for one another that I didn't have in other industries before, where it was just kind of, we're focused on us and that's it. But we have an opportunity to expand past that. And then with the clients, every single time a client came to us individually or together and said, I have a problem, I don't know if you guys are the people who can handle this, but I'm hoping you are, or that you might know somebody that can. That meant the world to me. Because them coming to us with that level of trust means so much more than just they're my client. They rely on us in a certain way, and that carries so far into what I'm doing now in terms of the care and attention that I take towards people that come to me with a problem at all. Do I know somebody who can fix it? Maybe, maybe not, but I'm not going to leave you hanging. And I learned that here. Doesn't matter if we're the ones to help you, we're going to find you somebody who can, and that started here.
Cool. I think between the team and partners, those people helped connect the creative process to what we do in the community, and kind of proves that because we are creative and because we need to be that flexible point, we're that for everyone.
Yes.
And that just goes all the way through the creative process to how we network with people, to how we do business.
Yeah.
That it's flexible and it's organic.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we at? Number 5. In what ways do you think your work has contributed to the growth and development of the business?
I think a big part of it was just doing what I am right now, being in front of the camera. I never anticipated that I would kind of become a spokesperson for what we do. I kind of thought that I would just be a helping hand in the background of that. I was happy to be the voice on the side of the phone and answering the emails and stuff. I never thought that that was going to breach into the actual public eye in any kind of way. Am I very happy it did? Absolutely. That not only taught me a lot personally, but I think it gave me an opportunity to make an impact here that I would not have quite been able to tangibly achieve otherwise, or maybe not as quickly. It was a platform for me that I got to put all of the passion that I had for Ape Forge, unable to do graphic design and not at all an expert in web development, but really passionate about the quality of work that we do and how we do it. Getting to talk about it and spreading the word about it was the perfect outlet for that.
Awesome. Can you provide some feedback on the company culture and how it has impacted your work experience?
Yeah. Creature comforts and making sure that people are comfortable where they're working and comfortable sharing with you in your workspace is huge. And I don't mean that in a make sure your break room is stocked with snacks kind of way. I mean in a make sure you can come to your boss and tell them when you're uncomfortable working with a client or when you're uncomfortable with another employee. That happens very rarely here, but anytime that anybody ever felt like they weren't heard or that they weren't understood, it was very easy to be able to come to Matt or any other member of the team because we created a culture of that and just say, hey, let's talk about this, or let me hear your perspective. It wasn't ever a, you were in the wrong and I'm gonna tell you why. It's, let's figure out what's going on and see where we can do this.
It was all about collaboration.
Yeah.
Of how do we, here's a problem, how do we solve it? We're the team if we like it or not.
Yeah.
we're gonna make it right.
It absolutely starts with little things like making sure the break room is stocked.
That's a big part.
Yeah, and making sure there's things like the Minecraft server for us to do together.
Dr. Pepper in the fridge.
Exactly. A space heater underneath my desk, running at all times, even in the summer.
That's a little much, but all right, we can make that work.
But knowing that somebody will go to that extent to make you physically comfortable makes you a lot more open to being creative and like intellectually and emotionally comfortable too.
Yeah, awesome. Mimblers make these questions.
I knew it.
I fine-tuned a few of them. These 7, 8, 9 are kind of the same thing.
Combine them.
That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, 7 and 8 I can combine. What advice would you give to someone joining the team?
Stay open-minded. And not because we are difficult people to listen to, but because you're going to absorb so much so quickly if you remain open-minded. Everybody here works in different ways. They start at different points. They edit things to different extents and for different reasons. And being willing to hear that explanation from start to finish really, really helps. And that open-mindedness has to start at the beginning of a project. Like I learned, this was a hard lesson for me, but learning when to make a comment on the progress of something that is currently being worked on, and understanding that there's multiple different levels of doneness, and when feedback is appropriate in that process, all rounds back to being open-minded. Because if you look at something and you immediately feel like you should comment on it because you have some kind of feedback, it's probably because you're not seeing the bigger picture of that it may not be done or that it may not be ready for that kind of thing.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last question is, how do you envision staying connected with Ape Forge in the future?
I'm going to remain as a referral partner. I will say this over and over again, I stand by the work that you guys do here. It's good work. And I want to be able to refer people to here to get that work done. I know that there are just the right people that vibe with what we want to accomplish at Ape Forge creatively in making an impact in things that matter. You always say you want to make cool shit. And so when I see people who want to do that, this is the first place that I think of. And I never want to lose that. There's so much good that can come out of being affiliated with not even just a company, but people like this.
Yeah.
The essence of this place and its purpose is far more important than even the services it provides. And that's what I want to continue to be a part of, is that if we can't help you, we'll find somebody who can. Let's get creative. Let's dive deep into stuff. That approach, that perspective is always going to be because of the connection that I have to here.
Yeah. Oh, I think you'll carry that no matter who or what it is, the right solution can be found.
Yeah.
And if it's with us, great. If it's with someone else, awesome. It's about getting the right people to the right people.
Yeah.
And we're just one place among a bunch of other really talented companies in Toledo and Northwest Ohio and the world. And the solution might be down the road or it might be here. Who knows? But
Exactly.
we're a good starting point
Yeah.
to figure it out. From here, do you want to kind of tell us where you're going, what you're doing, and
Yeah.
that?
So I am the promotions/digital coordinator and one of the morning show producers at Cumulus Media. So the morning show stuff will happen more on K100, which is one of the 7 radio stations under Cumulus Media. So one of the things that I'll be kind of in charge of is putting on fun promotions, getting people involved in advertising with those, our clients there, and coordinating that kind of stuff. So I've fallen into exactly the right position of come to me with your questions and I'll tell you what we can do. If we can help you, then I'll help you. And if we can't, I'll point you in the right direction. That's exactly where I want to be. I'm excited to be growing into a position that allows me to stay in contact with the clients that I have here, and in a completely new and creative way, in something that I've never done before. Radio is completely new. I'm excited about being amongst other huge personalities. It's part of the gig. So there's nothing but big open, wide open, exciting opportunities. And I've felt nothing but support every single step of the way.
Yeah, when you came to me with I have this opportunity, I'm like, you have to do it.
Go!
Like,
Run!
like, go get it. Love to keep you here, but also happy to see you doing something that continues evolving your career.
Yeah.
And wherever you end up after that point, awesome. But, we're still here. So.
And I think that's a huge thing. Had I not had the opportunities that I had at Ape Forge, I would be seasonally, I would either be at a title company, not really understanding what I'm doing, or seasonally working at a tax office, if any of you can imagine that. This is the place where I found out what a career could mean for a single mom. And that it can be this wonderful, beautiful thing that shows my daughter a pathway to independence with people around her that care about her and her mom. And that goes so far too. It's just every opportunity and every avenue that I look at my time here has been good. Personally, professionally, family life, all of it's good.
There was a few times in your career with us where I threw a giant stack of papers at you. It's like, we got to start cold calling because we got to grow the business fast.
And every time you walked away, I silently cried to myself and then pulled it together, made some cold calls, found some business.
But we made it through and found the right way to grow the business and continue evolving without forgetting who we are.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of the legacy of Ape Forge, or whatever you want to call it. It's that we continue evolving to be what we need to be when we need to be it.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way down to the creative process of it needs to be flexible. We have to be flexible so that we can be comfortable.
Yeah, and it meets the needs of others when you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
And doing that is the fulfilling part.
Yeah.
That's the best part. It's all so good. And any moment where we got to those really stressful times was just another moment where I was able to at least to some extent, no matter how stressful it was, sit there and go, if I were any other place, this would be awful. As hard as this is, if I were anywhere else, I wouldn't be able to take it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I'm here, doing it with these people, knowing that at the end of this tunnel is even more outstanding and astounding interactions that I can't even imagine yet. I mean, think about it, because I know what time you're talking about. At that point, we weren't even thinking about New York. We weren't thinking about Portland. We weren't thinking about clients in Canada. Like, nothing like that was even on our radar. I don't think at maybe once or twice we had been to the Maumee Chamber of Commerce. Like, I hadn't even met the friends that I have now.
Right.
And to be able to come from those times and get to where we are now.
Well, to get through that pressure that's necessary to produce those solutions.
Absolutely.
And not crack under that pressure. I think that was a big learning thing for both of us. Me
Yeah.
as a first-time business owner, full-time creative, but first-time business owner, to realize what the hell am I doing and how do I do this, and having someone along my side to say, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that, and providing solutions along those ways that I couldn't see because I was too close to it, or I was too far away from it, and being able to allow the company to evolve as we went.
Yeah.
That was really cool for me to see.
It was really interesting to watch how that happened too, because I don't think everybody realizes I was Ape Forge's first full-time employee. Everybody else was working part-time for Ape Forge, including yourself, even as the business owner. And it was a full year and a half of me working full-time as the only full-time employee before Matt left his other full-time job and committed to Ape Forge full-time. And I remember when that happened feeling like it was 65%, oh my gosh, we did it. Oh, I'm so happy he's finally able to do this. And the other part was, oh God.
Oh no.
It's all real now. And now I think I finally, well, and only to a certain extent, got just a tiny taste of what you had been bearing for a big portion of that, which is this person's livelihood is now my responsibility. And when you jumped over to that, I was like, oh, he's all in. Okay, here we go. All right, it's go time.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah. And it was so freeing, though, to watch what could happen when we were both able to dedicate that full time to it.
Yeah, well, the idea of the business model too, of like, all right, this doesn't work on paper.
Oh,
But
yeah,
if we put
not
it
at
into
all.
practice, how well could it work? And then it starting to work, and then working over and over and over again, and us getting good projects to work on that. Yeah, one gave us the job to do, but also we got exposed to some really cool opportunities along the way that we can sit and say, wow, damn, I'm proud of that. That's cool. That's what, I don't know, that's what I couldn't have done without you. So,
Thanks.
don't mention it again.
Don't ever talk about it again.
Don't ever talk to me again.
Don't ever talk about it. Don't ever talk about me. In fact, you're not associated with this company anymore. It was cool. I mean, like in Portland even, we got so much validation
Oh yeah.
of what we were doing, how we were doing it, and not just like, good drawing.
Yeah.
Yay, graphic design. Even though that was a big focus of that convention, it was so much more about what we were doing internally and how we communicate with our clients about the passion of what we do and why it's important.
Yeah.
That was a huge turning point for us. Yes, in learning, but in kind of being able to, and I know all of us on the team experience this to different extents, but I will hold near and dear to my heart moments where you and I kind of separately went, oh, we're not faking it.
Yeah.
we're doing it.
Oh,
We're doing it. Okay. Yeah, I get that. And a lot of that conference was that for me because I don't do the graphic design.
Yeah.
Where all of the stuff that was about the business end of what it is to be a creative agency, being able to objectively say, I support every decision that we've made.
Yeah.
And I get to stand behind people who do creative work but do it the right way. Because there's a lot of people and a lot of businesses who want to do creative work and would probably excel at it, given the structure we've developed.
Yeah.
And that takes time and effort, and it takes trial and error.
Yeah.
And after error, you have to try again, and that persistency where Ape Forge has come through makes
I think
a big
that's a
difference.
good point to bring up, that part of that creative process is failure. Part of growing any business is failure and success, and how you deal with that success and how you apply the different ways to continue growing and all that. And us as a company, we've done some really cool stuff. We have also made mistakes along the way, but we identify what those are and we continue growing. And just whatever that shortcoming might be, being able to look into ourselves and identify it without feeling like
The world is over.
the world is over, and taking that next step and saying, all right, cool, that sucked. Let's do it better this time, though.
Yeah.
Or let's go back and fix that. I think that in any business is important, but here specifically, the culture that we're able to establish and to cultivate that collaboration has been really good
Yeah.
to keep us going.
I think there's an easy way to kind of learn that lesson professionally. You mess up at work, you ignore the problem, your boss calls you out on it, you get in trouble. The way that we've addressed it here, it made it so that it gave that impact personally too. It doesn't matter how bad you mess up. Really. You could really, really, really mess up, really, really disappoint somebody. But as long as you go to them, you tell them, and you take accountability for it, and you immediately try to move forward from it, that makes the world of difference in terms of what your intentions are. Yeah. I found that out through a very small way when I lost the phone.
Oh,
I lost the Ape Forge phone.
You're going to make me sound really bad.
I know. I lost the Ape Forge phone, and it was my first time ever being written up at a job. And I remember you came to me with that, and you said, I'm going to write you up because, that's what we should do. But I want to talk to you about this in terms of if anything like this happens again going forward, here's how it should be handled. Just tell me. Everything will be fine. Yeah. Do I seem mad now? And I was like, no.
Yeah. I'll back you up. You did learn from that experience because we upgraded the business phone, and you cracked one of the lenses on the camera, which is that camera right there. I'm pointing at it.
Fine.
It still works fine, but man, that lens is cracked as all get out.
So
That's
bad.
never going to look any better. But you called me immediately. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
First I tried to text you and I said, hey, are you busy? And you didn't answer. And I was so nervous about letting any time pass at all that I called you. It went to voicemail, and the first words out of my mouth were, hey, I'm really sorry. Yeah. I did not want to tell you this in a voicemail, but I also don't want to let any time pass.
Granted, I think I was at home eating mac and cheese.
You were
and I was like, why are you telling? What's the big deal? I think I have Apple Care on it. Who cares? I don't have Apple Care on it, and that's my fault. That's a life lesson for me.
See, we all learn business lessons in this. It's not a one-way street here.
If you're not learning anything, you're not living. So
exactly.
It's all fine.
Part of moving forward is
leaving something behind. And this transition, though very, very bitter, it is also very sweet because it's good to see you continue and keep going and improve yourself and grow, get better opportunities for you and Molly, and that stuff is cool.
Yeah, and there's I don't want to understate the impact that 3.5 years here gave me.
Man, was that long?
21, 22, 23. Yeah, 3.5 years. Jeez, I can't believe I made it. I'm alive. the many trials and tribulations that I went through during that time, all of which unavoidably bled into professional life. That just happens. It taught me so much, and the impact of just keep going, just keep continuing. Whatever is happening directly at you, directly to you, things out of your control, that happens in the professional life, it happens in your personal life, but it doesn't affect you and your essence and who you are and how great you are. Don't let this dull you. Don't let this change you. And that goes so far into you supporting us to pursue other opportunities too, because it goes with the positive. As much as negative things can affect you, so can the positive, and it's let this positive thing affect you, but don't let it hold you back. Grow from it, not just into it. Don't let it encapsulate you and make it everything that you are. Allow yourself to blossom from it. And I think before I was really afraid of that, but now I view that as the only option.
No, that was a big, I think, a learning curve for you was it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
It's okay
oh my gosh,
to feel like you don't know what you're talking about. It's okay to feel that way. Knowing how to respond to it is important. That, oh crap, I don't know what I'm being asked, but I know someone that does know. So let's go that direction. Or in our world, nothing's black and white. It's hues and tones and feelings and vibes and all that kind of stuff. And the faster you learn that, the better you can begin speaking that language. And you did a really good job. You knocked it out. And so that bittersweetness I mentioned earlier of like seeing you go is like, oh, this work we put into you to understand the process. But now you get to take that to a different industry, a similar industry, but a very much different industry. That you can see through the problems to get the solution faster.
Yeah.
So and life lessons, all that kind of stuff.
Even just in the professional job world, millennial, I took an opportunity. I didn't do graphic design. I didn't do website development before this. I was part of a marketing team before this, but again, just as an administrator. Excuse me.
Jesus.
I don't know. I'm dying. Can't be a liability though. That's rule number one. I don't have to follow your rules anymore. Oh no! I could die right here, and nothing bad would happen for you. For me.
The landlord would have something to say about it. Though.
Sorry, Jeremy. I think where was I going? Oh, Ape Forge. If I had not had the opportunity at Ape Forge that I did, nuts and bolts wise, because we've talked a lot about like the intangible experience. Nuts and bolts wise of the graphic design, the website development, understanding email, understanding social media, understanding how to answer a phone.
Professional responses, all that kind of stuff.
I would not have this job had I not learned those things here, period. I was viewed as a better candidate because of that experience and that basic knowledge. So I guess in that sense, it was, do I know what I'm doing in this industry? No. But do I think that I can help a person? Yes. So it was kind of taking another leap, and you've always encouraged those leaps.
I used to tell everyone out, honestly, if you don't take that opportunity, I'll just fire you.
You did threaten to do that multiple times.
You need to at least entertain that idea.
Yeah.
That's dramatic, of course, but.
Well, it is and it isn't though, because this Cumulus job isn't even the only job that I pursued while I was working with you, and you were very supportive of that other job tue. Shout out to Tyler Nieskern over at the Sandusky County Chamber of Commerce.
Stop poaching my employees.
Yeah, they did try to do that. Would have loved that. Not the right time, but hit me up. I'm just kidding. Don't.
Cut that.
Yeah, cut that. Anyways, it was so cool to go from that opportunity to see that opportunity not come to fruition. I did not get that initial job, and when they offered me a secondary job after receiving your full support, where you said that is a better job than what I am giving you right now, it will further your career, try it, go for it. And then when they came back to me with a second offer, you were like, is that what you want now? So it wasn't this unwavering support of, well, great, I can get her out and I can hire someone new. That was never what it is. You were always looking out for my actual best interest. And that showed through when this opportunity presented itself. Because it wasn't just, hey, here's something that gives me XYZ tangible thing, materialistic thing, and you said, okay, go do it if you want it. You asked me about it and asked me what I felt about it and what opportunities that would lend me to. And the career part of it was something that I didn't even know how to approach intellectually without having those discussions with you. It made a big difference. Just in where I ended up. Nothing else. Didn't teach me anything outside of that.
Well, I think that's all the time we have.
Okay.
It was a good half hour.
Oh,
We're at 4 o'clock. I gotta jump on with Tommy here in a few minutes, or like a minute ago now.
oopsie. Surprising no one.
Yeah, I don't know how to wrap this up.
Thank you, everybody. This has been Rebecca with the Ape Forge team. Bye.
The end.
The
It'd be
end.
great if it didn't record any of it.